Hey, we are back. Aren't you glad to see me? Actually, you shouldn't be seeing me. You should be in Supta Baddha Konasana with your hands on the chest and stomach. So join me there, close your eyes. And then once you've listened to your breath for a little bit, you could probably just drop the arms by your sides. So give yourself time with that. As we know, we always want to try and really tune into the breath, probably the first time today, to have done that with that active awareness, with consciously being there and not being distracted by everything else. And sometimes it just helps to really feel the breath and the heartbeat. But of course, we're perfectly capable of feeling these things without having the hands there. So maybe we can get to that point and just notice how they play together, what rhythm they have. And then raise your knees, drop your knees to the left side, feet quite far apart, but always find something that feels good for you. Arms could stretch out, and we change sides. Knees to the right. Again, arms could stretch out, but it depends on how much you want to stretch into your sides here as well. What you want to feel in your hips determines how low the knees go. And then up and over into a twist. Right knee first pulls in towards you and then goes over to the left side. Turn the head to the right if that makes sense to us. Obviously, if you've got neck issues, just be comfortable, be aware of what may or may not be good for you. And we change sides, pulling the left knee in towards us and keeping it close to the chest. Come into that lovely twist. Left knee to the right side, head to the left, if that makes sense. And that left shoulder stays heavy. We slowly roll onto the back again and we hug the knees in towards us. We raise our head, our neck, our shoulders and roll into the shoulders. And then dropping the head to the back and raising it again. So nice and slowly, and unhelpfully, it's not very easy to see that because my hair in the way, but I'm not actually dropping the head all the way down. Now I am. Now knees go out and in, toes stay together. Draw circles, and we go in both directions. And from here, raise your arms, your legs, get movement into your fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, and see how much you can already stretch into the backs of the legs without it getting too deep. And arms relax, and we move the legs a little bit more, pointing and dropping the left leg, pointing and dropping the right leg, making sure that the lower back stays on the ground. So you want to feel that connection. You want a little bit of work here in the core, nothing too much. And of course the legs could bend if it gets too much. Good, and then we reach for the feet, coming into Anand Balasana. As always, give yourself time to arrive here, bring the hands to wherever they're comfortable and decide where exactly the feet want to be. So mine are a bit further out than the knees today. Yours could be further in. It's all good. And then we straighten the legs all the way and we bring the feet back in. This time we're going to bring the feet further in as if we wanted them to touch all the heels. So in and out, in and out. And then we straighten the legs and hold. We bring the feet down and hold. And then we keep the left foot where it is and straighten just the right leg. Head turns to the left. We keep ourselves quite heavy here on the whole of the body, and then other side. So meaning we're not dropping to the side. And then straighten both legs. Send yourself a little bit further back. Doesn't have to be all the way at all. But if you wanted to, the legs could go even further apart. And we can interlock the hands. Not too long. We're rolling up into a boat. Legs bent to begin with, arms high. Open up to the right side. And on an inhale, come back. Open up to the left side. And on an inhale, come back. Good. And find your rhythm here. That doesn't have to be in unison with me. Just inhaling as you reach the arms up, exhaling as you twist. And the feet could be on the ground, the legs could be straight, whatever works here. And from here, once you've done both sides, lower the legs. This is hard with the legs straight. Bend them if you need to. and come into a cross-leg position from here. Shukrasana, happy pose, easy pose. And we change sides. So the one we naturally went to, we're going to change. We're going to start with the left arm, taking it from one side to the other. We can go deeper with our gaze as well. So you might look up or start to look up if you wanted to, take things further to the back. And then we stay, we look up to the ceiling, we open the palm to the ceiling and reach and breathe and back. We change sides. This is probably the side that's more natural for you. And we take that right arm to the side and over to where it came from, or even further back. And then we hold and look up to the ceiling, open the palm to the ceiling and breathe. Release. Left arm up and over to the right side, right arm up and over to the left side. Just a bit more movement, and maybe we'll also go deeper every time, but we don't have to. I say that a lot, don't I? I'm going to stop saying it. No, I won't. Inhale, raise the arms, walk up an imaginary ladder, bit of movement into the wrists, flexing the hands, and then push your elbows down and up. So when I say flexing the hands, you want to spread the fingers wide and just gently bring the fingertips a little bit further towards the back here. The head is optional. We could raise it and lower it, but we don't have to. And then here, this is my favorite, arms up and down. And you can't hear this, obviously, but we're going to apply a really strong breath, Kundalini style. So it could be twice the speed as I just did, or just strong breaths in as you go up, out as you go down. However much heat you want to create. And then hands onto the shoulders and out, and we keep that up, and same breath here as well. You can see that a little bit in my stomach, so there's a lot of breathing going on there. Diaphragmatic breath. So keep it low, high. Arms to the front and then hands onto the shoulders, just as we did before, but just elbows staying at the front. Strong breaths. And then reach the arms up again, float the arms down. From here we just roll into the shoulders, hands can stay on the knees. Just gentle rolls. Look to the right side, and then from there draw a half circle or more, and back. And we go again. So again, you want to try and make sure that whatever you do here is pleasurable for you. You could come into a full circle, but if that's not your thing, then keep it to half circles. And from here, arms to the front, we pull our left wrist to the right side, rounding the back, dropping the head. We pull our right wrist to the left side. And hands on the knees, we come back up and make our way onto all fours. And from all fours, we make sure that we're aligning the wrists and shoulders, the knees and hips, and we draw circles around the wrists. As always, we make sure that we use every part of the hand here to support us. The fingers are just as important as the heel of the hand. The fingertips are just as important as the rest of the hand. And we tuck the toes under, raise the knees just off the ground. A little bit of space there. And we hold. If that gets too much, of course, you know your options. And we start arching and rounding the back. And as we do in our normal traditional Marjaryasan, we want to make sure that there's space between the shoulder blades, both as we arch and as we round. And then we come forwards and back a bit here. Knees still off the ground if that's not too much for you. And then knees down. Tuck your right toes under so that the knee comes up and you press your hips to the back. You can press your right knee away with your right hand. But if it's more comfortable to keep the right arm at the front, that's also fine. And then same on the other side, tucking the left toes under, pushing to the back, using the left hand, probably, potentially, whatever, to push that left knee towards the back and onto all fours again. Now inhale, raise your right arm. Can go further back as well, as far back as you want. And on an exhale, that arm goes over to the left side. We hover the arm and the head to feel the strength in the left arm. We inhale and raise the arm, opening up, and we exhale and go over to the left side. Same thing a few more times. I think I did 3 times. So this might be the time. Yes, no, not quite. Yes, a few. As I said, now from here, release the head, release your arm, and maybe, and this is just one of many options, adjust here to raise that left leg and to bring the left arm behind you. Or you could hold on to the foot as well, left hand to left foot. And we come back slowly. Hooray! Other side. Breathe in. Left arm goes up. Couple of breaths here before we move. And on an exhale, whenever that is for you, you can take that left arm and bring it over to the right side. Again, we are hovering and we're holding here as well. Head off the ground, shoulder off the ground. Right arm active. And we move. Inhaling, raising the arm, exhaling, going over to the right side. And again, a few of these. And then for the fourth one, we will settle. Arm comes down, head comes down, and once we're comfortable, we can do all sorts of other things with the right arm and the right leg. And release. Coming back into Padmanasana or tabletop pose. Round your back, hips side to side if that feels good. And we arch our back and look up. Long arms. Left arm to the front, right arm to the back, and we raise and bring them together. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling, knee to elbow, and the head comes with. Then we hold on and maybe bring the chin towards that left shoulder. It's obviously a possibility to stay in that balancing tabletop from before. Now right foot to the front, come onto your forearms if you can. So the idea is to just come a little bit lower and slowly press the hips to the back to straighten the right leg. Press the hips further forwards to bend that leg more. And we take ourselves back. And we're ready for the other side. Breathing in, we send the right arm and left leg away from us. Inhaling up, exhaling together. Inhaling and arching, exhaling and rounding. And we bind, raising that left knee a bit higher, pressing the foot into the hand, and the chin can come to the right shoulder if that doesn't unbalance you. And release, bringing the left foot to the front, coming a little bit lower with the torso. Just letting yourself drop. Slowly from here, straighten the leg and come further forwards than you did before. And then make your way into Malasana, so stepping the right foot to the front. Just a regular forward fold, a wide leg forward fold. Raise your right arm, left leg is bending as you open up. And change sides, left arm up, right leg bends. Release and straighten the arms and torso, fingertips to the shins, shift your weight to the back and then forwards into the toes. Arms to the front, not an easy thing to do, and we come up with a straight back. Breathe into a little back bend and breathe out, Anjali Mudra. Bring the feet together and I'm going to face you. Coming into Vrikshasana or the tree pose, bringing the left foot to the right inner thigh, or testing if that works. If we feel comfortable there, the foot can be lower, could even be on the ground. And then I want to play around a little bit with where we're looking. Easier to look to the front. Slightly harder to look to your foot there. You might see your toes. Will have an effect on your balance. The further away you look, the more our vision, right? Our field of vision, the more we can make sense of where we are in space, because we see all these things around us. We could now even try to look to our fingertips, even harder. and release, change sides. And with all of that, there's no right amount of time that you should hold anywhere, and can vary from one side to the other, from one day to the other. So just see what your balance is capable of today, what challenges you, but not so much that your breathing changes. So you might look down to the ground, you might already be there. For all I know, you're laughing at these little gentle ways that I'm breaking it to you, and you're already closing the eyes in that Vrikshasana, in that tree pose. And if so, good for you. Looking to the fingertips significantly harder, it's these tiny little things. And we release and come to the front of the mat. Feet together, we roll the shoulders to the back and down, open the palms to the front. Slide the shoulders down and then inhale, raise your arms, look up. On an exhale, whenever that is for you, come halfway down, hands higher than the shoulders if you can manage. And then release. On your next inhale, you want to step the right foot to the back and sink the hips down as you exhale. Stay, maybe opening the torso to the front a little bit, and then step your right foot to the back. We're holding that plank. We're dropping the knees, chest and chin, arching the back, elbows high, shoulders high. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And inhale, drop the hips, raise the chest. And remembering, we always want the pubic bone in touch with the ground and the legs slightly, arms slightly bent in Bhujangasana, in that cobra. Into Parvatasana, which we'll also hold, and feel free to paddle a little bit, seeing how the legs might be a bit tight, or the backs of the legs. Right leg goes up, and we flex the foot, drop the heel. This is optional, some people don't like it. So obviously, adapt in whichever way you want. Right foot steps to the front, and we step the left foot to the front. We breathe in and come up to standing. And exhale, hands to the heart center. And we go again, breathing in, raising the arms. And on an exhale, fold halfway down, arms this time next to the ears. This is obviously harder. Drop all the way down into a forward fold. And on your next inhale, step your left foot to the back. Sinking the hips down, raising the chest a bit. Exhale into a plank and hold that plank. And drop your knees, chest and chin. Again, that could be an exhale, of course, as we're flowing, it'll be a hold. Breathe in, arch in your cobra. Even if you're high, there's a little bend in the arms. And breathe out, coming into Parvatasana, mountain pose, and downward dog. Inhale, raise your left arm, leg. I'm going to leave that in. Exhale, flex the foot, drop the heel. And then exhale, step the foot to the front. Step your right foot to the front. And inhale with the arms next to the ears, come up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Breathe in, arms go up. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, right foot to the back. Exhale, left foot to the back. Now we're getting into that breath. Hold as we drop down. Inhale, arch. Exhale, downward dog or mountain. Inhale, right foot up and to the front. Exhale, left foot to the front. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, left foot. Exhale, right foot. Hold your breath, maybe chaturanga, doesn't have to be. Inhale, then of course you could do upward dog, and exhale, downward dog or mountain. Breathe in, left foot up and to the front. Breathe out, right foot to the front. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, right foot to the back. Exhale, left foot to the back. Hold your breath, drop down. Inhale and arch. Exhale, push the hips up. Inhale, right foot to the front. Exhale, left foot to the front. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart center. And we open up again on the inhale. Exhaling as we're folding forwards. Breathe in, left foot to the back, out, right foot. Hold, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, mountain. Breathe in, left foot to the front. Out, right foot to the front. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Breathing in, Hastottanasana. Breathing out, Uttanasana. Inhaling into a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling into a plank or even a low plank. Inhaling, upward dog, legs off the ground, hands, feet are on. Exhaling, Pardhatasana. Bend your legs, look forward, make your way to the front. And inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, rise into a little back bend. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift with the fingers on the ground. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale and arch. Exhale, push the hips up, lengthening arms, legs, spine. Jump to the front or step. And breathe in, come up to standing. Breathe out, hands to the heart center. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold forwards. Breathe in, chair pose. Fierce pose, really, if we're literally translating it. Strong pose, knees together, feet together. Long spine rather than an arch or a round. Hips to the back, knees to the back, and we jump into a low plank. Inhale into upward dog. Exhale, push up. Inhale, right leg goes up into the front. That going up is obviously optional. Inhale, arms up here, Ashwa Sanchalanasana. Exhale, warrior two. Feeling the breath. Straighten your right leg and come forwards and down into Trikonasana, triangle pose. And hands to the ground, we open up into a twisted lunge with that right arm going up. Now grab hold of that left foot with the right hand. Knee goes high, we look to the front, we slowly come up. I'm saying it as if it was easy, but of course our little balance work in Vrikshasana has hopefully helped with our balance here as well. Breathe in, coming to standing. Breathe out, hands to the heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. And we come back into our chair, but we could also come into Kargasana. So if you wanted to come lower, go for it. And then breathe in. And as you exhale, step or jump into a low plank. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, hips go up. Breathe in, left leg goes up. Breathe out, step to the front. Sink the hips down, right heel off the ground as we come back up into our lovely moving horse, Ashva, the horse. Open up into warrior two, checking on the hands. Keeping them high. When in doubt, higher than the shoulders. And then straighten your leg, both legs stay straight as we come into our lovely triangle. Adjusting the torso in any way we need to. And then onto that twisted lunge, left arm up. Breathe. Grab hold of your right foot with the left hand. Raising the knee high, and then from here, head goes to the front. We guide ourselves into Natarajasana. Lord of performers, Lord of dance. Natas, obviously from dancing. Raj, king. And we inhale and come to standing, a little back bend maybe. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Breathe in, arms go up. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, although you could do something else here if you wanted as well. Wherever is good. Giving you all the options. And on our next exhale, we're going to jump into a plank again, or a low plank. Inhale into upward dog. Exhale, downward dog or mountain. And then deepen this mountain a little bit. Long legs, long arms, long spine. Feeling the shoulders lifting you up and really pushing into the hands so that you're pushing away everything else. And keep that up as you inhale and raise your right leg. Exhale, flex your foot and drop the heel. And then bring that right knee to the right elbow on top of the right forearm, upper arm if you want. Turning your head maybe to the right side to raise that left leg, completely optional. And then step that right foot to the outside of the right hand, raise your right arm. And we straighten both legs, coming onto the outer edges of both feet. And then as elegantly as me, as you can see, wonderful, slide that foot towards the back, coming into a side plank, hips on top of each other. Foot can be anywhere, that top foot can be a little bit further forwards as well if you want. And then come into a low plank here and inhale into upward dog. Exhale, downward dog or mountain. Inhale, left leg up. And exhale, flex your foot, drop the heel, push the knee up high. Knee comes to the left side here and we bend here. You can see nicely that right elbow is holding, or the right upper arm is holding the torso. Head to the left, arm holding you. Maybe the right leg goes up. And then into that twisted lunge, left arm up. Onto the outer edges of both feet with both legs straight. From here, guiding that foot to the back. Different ways to do it, different places for that left leg to be. You decide. Chaturanga Dandasana from here and inhale into upward dog. Exhale, Pardadasana. Bend your legs, drop the knees, drop the hips towards your heels in Balasana or child's pose. Funny how it's baby pose or child's pose. So it's happy baby, Anand Balasana, that's baby. Here it's child. Inhale, raise your arms, come to sit on the heels. Exhale, hands to the heart center. We breathe in and we raise the arms again. We breathe out and fold forwards. And then on an inhale, we look to the front, chest slightly rises. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. So elbows stay in. Inhale and arch. Exhale, hips guide you into Pardadasana. Inhale, right leg goes up. Exhale, knee to the dropped head. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, knee to the right side. We've been here before. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, knee to the left side. And now from here, we're raising the left arm, sending the right leg to the front maybe, but that's an option. Right foot could be on the ground and face more sort of the middle of the mat. And then right foot onto the ground, drop your left knee, Anjaneyasana. We can keep the toes tucked under here. We could raise the knee, just an option. You decide. And hands down. To raise that left leg high, coming into Ekpat Prasarit Padottanasana. I know why they call it the standing split. It's such a mouthful. Ekpat, one foot. And we could here bring the hands to our ankle, just as I have done, but obviously that messes with balance a little bit more. But that's what this is all about, isn't it? Releasing and then inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, a lovely little chair again, and exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. From here into child's pose, so knees can stay off the ground, and we inhale and come up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Breathe in, arms go up. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, looking to the front. Exhaling into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And exhale, Parvatasana or Adho Mukha Svanasana, both Shiva. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to the dropped head. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to the left side. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, knee to the right side. And from here, left arm goes up, left leg to the front. We may take this further. Did I say left arm? I meant right arm. Good luck with left arm and left leg here. And that left foot comes to the front. We drop the right knee, toes tucked under so that you have that option of either staying here or raising the knee off the ground. Just go with what feels best in your body. And then from here into the standing splits. Remembering we can keep the hands on the ground, or we could one by one bring our hands slowly to the ankle. You want to keep the head dropped though, so no tension in the neck. We do that far too often anyway. Release and come to standing, and hands to the heart center. And we inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, drop the hips, raise the arms. Exhale, jumping into a low plank. Ah yes, this is where I forgot that actually we're taking ourselves into Balasana here, not upward dog. Inhale, come up to sit on the heels. And exhale, hands to the heart center. Breathe in, arms up or to the back. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, coming into a variation of Ashtanga Namaskar, so toes can be high. We can interlock the hands and even raise the hands to straighten the arms. We could go even further, raising the right leg. And why wouldn't we? Lots and lots of reasons, but here's your option. We can change sides. So if you tried the right leg, try the left leg, and really focus on keeping the hips aligned. That's going to give you that balance that you need here, especially with the shoulders and hands off the ground. And release, knees down, hands down. We keep the toes high and drop the hips, raise the chest, coming into Purna Bhujangasana. And here, even though I said earlier, Bhujangasana is only with the pubic bone in touch with the ground, this is the exception. Good. Back and into Malasana. And what I want you to do is round the back and reach the arms to the front, maybe pulling the wrists from side to side. So optional here. You want to feel good in the back. That was quite a deep back bend, of course. And then from here, right hand to the ground, left arm up. You always have the option to bind if you want, but it's okay to stay where you are. And we remember, just because we can do something, just doesn't mean we should, doesn't mean it's good for the body. We change sides. Binding if we want. And then hands come to the heart center from here, and we're going to raise the heels off the ground, straighten the spine. You want the shoulders basically over the hips. Hard to do, but try to keep that as much as possible as you raise the hips and drop the arms to push the knees to the back, to let them not come forwards. A variation, of course, of Utkat Konasana, mostly known as the goddess pose. So we've got Utkat, the chair, which is actually the fierce pose, Utkat Kon, fierce angle. And it is quite a fierce angle, isn't it? Good. Drop down and into Halasana from here, into your plow. And if you're quite deep in this, you can really tuck the toes under, push the heels towards the back, walk the toes a little bit further in. So not to release a little bit, the hips stay where they are, but to feel that even more deeply into the calves and the Achilles and the whole of the back of the leg, really. And while you could interlock the hands or keep the hands on the back, you could also interlock the hands and push the palms away from you so that the thumbs are on the ground, slightly deeper stretch. So there's lots of different options. And some people love having the hands at the feet as well. So go for whatever feels good for you. And here I'm finally showing that pushing of the palms away from your back. and towards the front of the mat. And really follow your breath. I know it's sometimes, when there's different ways, of course, to think of this. If we're moving through these postures, then it's easy to remember the breath because we're sort of guiding it, or just aware of it because we know when to inhale, when to exhale, and by the way, we're raising the right leg. But if you're not doing that, then it's a little bit like, well, now I'm focusing on that posture and on being still in the posture, and thoughts might come, but we want to be just as aware of the breath here as we are. And sometimes it can be easier to do that in stillness, sometimes it's harder. Left leg goes up, right leg drops. It just depends a bit, right? If we overdo it with too fast a flow, for example, or too challenging postures, that can have an effect on the breath that's not so beneficial. But both can be helpful in their own way. We slide the toes out to the sides, and of course I'm aware not everyone will have their toes on the ground, so you can hold on to your back. What you could also do is bring your arms next to you here. A little bit of prep if you want to come into that more unsupported shoulder stand. Just getting used to not using the arms that much. And we've got that chin to chest connection, obviously, which will change, give you a slight, sort of a similar thing that the OJ breath does. The victorious breath, the ocean breath, whatever you want to call it, that little constriction in the back of the throat. But the breath still flows freely. You should feel the breath as it comes and goes. Slowly roll into Navasana or Nokasana, a boat, and we lower the legs until they hover over the ground. Ah yes, I needed to go a little bit further back. The tabla was in the way. And up again. And we want to really make sure that you're not arching the back, that you're not rounding the back either. So have that nice long back. And then from here we come down, arms go up and next to the head. Legs go all the way down until they hover over the ground. And because this is super hard, remember that you can always bend the legs or go a little bit less deep, a little bit less low. Lower back definitely in touch with the ground. This is your core that's working, and not an arch in the back, not now. Raising the legs a bit higher to about 30 degrees, coming to 45 degrees. Maybe that's already 60, I don't know. Maybe there is 60, who knows? And then from here, and again, you can always come higher earlier, come into Ardhalasana, into that half plow, so 90-degree angle of the legs. And this is a nice alternative to the shoulder stand if that is not for you, in terms of maybe the way that your neck feels in a shoulder stand, or lots of other things that might be the reason. Now raise your buttocks off the ground, but keep the toes in line with the hips. Don't let them come towards the head, towards the back of the room. So you want to feel that really strongly in your core. You could come a little bit higher. You could also send the toes further forwards. So just going somewhere where you can hold, where you can still breathe. Kind of important, that. And then hands to the buttocks. Push yourself up into a shoulder stand or Sarvangasana. And again, this is optional, not for everyone. Some people say that if you have your period, you shouldn't do it. So that's... ancient texts will say that, but it's also not scientifically proven, and everyone is so different as well, so that you need to know this about yourself and just be comfortable with where you are. Here, the unsupported shoulder stand, which is an option, but take it easy. If you're a little bit unsure, start with the hands at the back and then bring the hands down onto the ground with that interlocking of the hands on the ground first, and then the arms could be next to the head first, and then they could go up. So really taking it in stages and seeing where you're comfortable. And keep breathing. Now just an option, you could bring the knees out to the sides and down. Toes pointing towards each other, hands to the knees. You could come from here into Karnapirasana. whole of the lower legs, so untucked toes are on the ground. And do something with the arms that feels right for you. So lots of different options here. You could still be in the full Sarvangasana as well. And the breath comes first. The breath will tell you what's good for you and what isn't. And sometimes we don't listen, but we do now. Again, just because I've moved into Sarvangasana doesn't mean you have to. You could still be in that ear-pressing pose. You could be in Halasana. You could be in that legs up the wall or Ardha Halasana position. And then knees to the forehead or outside. And we're going to bring both knees to the right side of the head. And both knees to the left side. And the head doesn't really change position. It's that little twist you want. Releasing from here, hands onto the back, legs up. And slowly roll down. And we're going to do a little bit of slightly different variation of your Setu Bandhasana. We're going to raise the arms. If like me you needed a little stretch, go ahead. Feet on the outside of the mat, and we're pressing the knees out as we're raising the hips. So really press out. Where do you feel that? In the thighs maybe, hips maybe. Keep the hips nice and high. Sometimes challenging the body is not necessarily a super challenging posture as opposed to the one we normally do, but just a different one. Stay here if you want, or come with me into the full Setu Bandhasana bridge. I know, often referred to as Chakrasana, but it makes sense, right? That only when the wrists, the hands go around the ankles, where it's actually a full circle, that chakra, that uninterrupted circle, that it is that energy center. Just like when we're in Anjali Mudra and the hands are together, we're building that full circle of energy within ourselves, not shaking someone else's hand to mess with their energy and them with our energy. We might come a little bit closer. Of course, you can take this into Chakrasana, but in my experience, most people don't actually go all the way into Chakrasana because it's super, super deep. I have seen people do it in India, one of my gurus, maybe more than just one guru, but I don't do it. I don't go that deep. And then slowly from here, there is a method to my madness. See, easier when the legs are apart. We're coming up and then reaching the arms to the front, coming halfway down and slowly all the way into a wide legged forward fold where we're just letting ourselves hang and get heavy. And we raise our right arm, bending the left leg, looking up. And we change sides. Right leg bends as the left arm goes up. And slowly release, drop your buttocks, round your back. Arms to the front, and we roll onto the back in any way you like. I don't know what I did there, but it felt good to me. And come into Pavan Muktasana, wind relieving pose. And then from here, left arm under those legs to guide them to the left side as we turn to the right. Lovely little twist. Decide to go elsewhere if that doesn't do it for you. And again, aware of the breath in the whole of the upper body. So maybe focusing less on the stomach, otherwise we can't feel it elsewhere. It's like with pain as well, we change sides. Can't really feel, so that there'll be one pain that can be overridden by a stronger, deeper pain. And And somehow that's the same with the breath, right? If we focus so much on that expansion of the stomach that is really quite easy to feel, then it's harder to feel those more subtle places where we can feel the breath. And technically, if we're really, really in tune with our interoception with our body, come onto the back, hug the knees in, feet outside of the mat, and drop the knees to the left side, turn the head to the right. So yeah, if we're completely in tune with the body and everything that's going on inside of us, all these processes in the body, then we can start feeling the breath everywhere. So we just become more and more aware, and we feel more and more of what's going on inside of us. But for now, change sides, knees to the right, head to the left, and feel the breath. Just a few more breaths here. And we come up and stretch out. Hands maybe onto the chest and stomach for a couple of breaths, or longer if you want. Whenever you're ready, drop them by your side. Lying in Shavasana, finding lots and lots of space on the mat, on the ground, which hopefully you'll have, and feel space in your body. And every breath you take goes into that space. And it leaves the body again. We observe the breath. Every inhale and every exhale is just that little bit different. I feel the breath slow down. Just a few more minutes of just lying here and feeling the breath, sensations in the body. Any particular ones from the last 50 minutes or so? Any that have nothing to do with what you did on the mat? Now about sensations that you can link to emotions. Could be something going on in your throat, your heart, your stomach. Or see what emotions, if any, are cropping up or have during the class. Any particular thoughts that keep coming back? You could try to breathe them in and out. Just letting them float away. And we slowly move into our fingers and toes, wrists, ankles, legs, arms. And then arms and legs a little bit further to the left side, a little bit further to the right side. Stretch into our side body. Feet far apart on the ground. We drop the knees from side to side. And then from here, come onto the right side. No rush at all. Let yourself lie there. Feeling the breath pass through your left nostril. See, the left gets more dominant when we're lying on the right. Good little trick because it's connected to your parasympathetic nervous system. Good thing to lie on your right side if you want to sleep and calm yourself. We come up and gently move into the body. Maybe stretching into the neck in a way that I'm doing, but actually much better to go with what intuitively feels good for you. It's going into places that still need to wake up or stretch. Any movement that you want. And almost at the end, we're going to reach the arms up high and go from side to side, float the arms down, whatever works here really, and then rub your hands together. And then place the palms over your face. Keep them there for a moment as you open the eyes and bring the hands to the heart center.